A very good afternoon to all of you. I feel I'm audible to all of you. Yes, good afternoon, Sumona. I'm audible also. Okay. Now, we're reading Albert Einstein at school. I hope today we'll be able to complete this chapter, okay? Last day we completed up to page number 29. We completed up to page number 29. 2 more pages are left. And we saw up to page number 29 last day that Einstein went to a doctor. His name is Ernest Well. And he was successful in achieving a certificate declaring that he suffers from nervous breakdown. So that was Einstein's plan, that he wanted to get a certificate from a doctor that would announce that he suffers from nervous breakdown. Okay. Now we will start from page number 30 today. Isn't it wonderful? He said after showing Yuri the certificate. So he got the certificate. Albert Einstein was successful in getting the certificate from the doctor, the Frankie doctor, and he had shown it to Albert and asking, isn't it wonderful? Yes, it's fine. Yuri agreed. I'm reading from the beginning of page number 30, okay? A snapshot, Albert Einstein at school. Yes, it's fine. Yuri agreed. Yuri agreed that yes, it's fine. 6 months is a good period, and Yuri told yes, 6 months, because in the certificate it's written that it would be better for Albert Einstein if he stays away from school for at least 6 months. This way you wouldn't actually be leaving, you actually be leaving the school. So if the worst comes to the worst, you will be able to come back and carry on for your diploma. Now this way you wouldn't actually be leaving the school. So actually here, though Yuri agreed to this plan, but mentally Yuri did not support to Albert. Why? And here he was warning Albert that so if worst come to the worst, you will be able to come back and carry on for your diploma. What does he want to mean? Yuri actually warned Albert that, you know, this is the way you have already cheated, because this is the false certificate that declares that you suffered from nervous breakdown. It is true that you do not suffer from nervous breakdown. And the worst come to the worst means, suppose you are caught that this is a false certificate. You are trying to cheat the school, okay? And if it happens, then you would have to come back and continue the school till you get the diploma. This is meaning the worst come to the worst means first worst that you are caught, that this is a false certificate. Second worst that you will have to come back to the school again to continue, and you would have to continue till you get the diploma, till you get the final result. And in that course of time, if you really suffer from nervous breakdown, then nobody would listen to you. Okay, this is that Yuri wanted to mean. I will never go back to that place, Albert assured him. But Albert was so much confident that he knew that this plan would be successful, and he told, he assured Yuri, I will never go back to that place. That place means to that school. I am going to take this certificate to the head teacher tomorrow, and that will be the end of it. And he told this is the last phase of his plan. The first phase was to achieve, to secure such a certificate that announced that Albert suffers from nervous breakdown. He had already got his certificate. Now the second phase is he must produce it to the head teacher of that school, and he would go away from school. So Albert told Yuri that tomorrow, that I am going to take this certificate to the head teacher tomorrow, and that will be the end of it. End of it means that will be the end of his school life in Munich. And Albert was so happy that tomorrow would be the last day in that school at Munich. Don't forget to get a reference in writing from your mathematics teacher first. Yuri reminded him, and Yuri was true. He was a true friend. You know, that Albert also planned that before leaving the school, he must get a reference from his mathematics teacher, because this reference would be the only means for his admission in any institution, in educational institution in Milan. So he must get such, because according to his plan, after leaving the school, he would go to Milan where his parents live in Italy. So in Italy, and he told that he was going to be admitted in any institution in Italy. So the reference from mathematics teacher would be the only means to get the admission in any educational institution in Milan. So Yuri reminded this to Albert, that you must not forget to take this reference from your mathematics teacher. Mr. Koch willingly gave Albert the reference he wanted. Mr. Koch was the mathematics teacher. So when next day when Albert went to school, and he actually told the mathematics teacher that please give me the reference, and mathematics teacher willingly, happily gave this reference to Albert. If I say I can't teach you anymore and probably you will soon be able to teach me, will that be all right? He asked, and mathematics teacher was so gentle. He was asking Albert what he should write in that reference. He told that if he would write that he could no longer teach Albert, and in few days Albert would be able to teach him, would that be right? Okay, the teacher was not joking. You see, the teacher was telling a student that he could no longer teach him, rather in few days the student would be able to teach him, and he was not joking. Means the real quality of Albert was known to that mathematics teacher. The mathematics teacher was the only teacher in that school who could recognize that Albert was a genius, and that is why he told that what I should write. I should write like this. That's saying too much, sir, said Albert. Albert told, no, sir, this is too much. Yes, this is too much. That how could a teacher say that I could no longer teach the student, because I don't have the capability to teach the student anymore, and the student would be able to teach me. And Albert told, no, sir, this is too much. That sounds too much. It's only the truth. The teacher was telling, yes, it is the truth. The teacher was telling not without being angry. The teacher was stating the fact. The teacher could recognize the capability of Albert Einstein, and that is why he told, this is true, that in few days you would be able to teach me. Okay, but all right, I will put it more seriously. But the teacher told, okay, I would write it down seriously. It was still a glowing reference. Glowing means praising, appreciating. The teacher appreciated in that reference, and Mr. Koch made the point that Albert was ready immediately to enter a college or institute for the study of higher mathematics, and the mathematics teacher mentioned it in that reference that this boy is ready to admitted in any institution for higher mathematics, because the boy had already achieved this quality, and he would be fit for studying higher mathematics. The teacher had given this reference to Albert. I'm sorry you are leaving us, although you are wasting your time in my class, he said. Now the teacher told, I am sorry you are leaving. Albert did not tell that I am leaving the school. He just asked for this reference, and the teacher realized. So the teacher told, I am sorry you are leaving us. The teacher told, yes, Albert, you are leaving us, I am sorry. Although you were wasting time in my class, he said. What does the teacher want to mean? The teacher was telling Albert, you are wasting time. I'm just giving example. As a student of class 11, in class 11, if class 4 maths or class 5 maths or English is taught to you, then it would be the wasting time for you. What the teacher wants to say, that the maths which are being taught in the class, these maths were below standard in comparison to the standard of Einstein. Einstein belonged to a higher standard, and the maths which are taught in the school, in their class to the other students, it was below standard to Einstein. That is why the teacher told Einstein that you were wasting time in my class. This is very important question. Recurrently this question comes, what does the teacher want to mean? Here the teacher wants to mean that the maths which are taught in the class, these are the below standard in comparison with the standard of Einstein. Means Einstein belonged to a higher standard of the maths which are being taught in the class. It's almost the only class where I am not wasting my time, said Albert. Albert told, no sir, this is the only class where I am not wasting my time. What does Albert want to say? Albert told, sir, this is the class where I could give all my concentration. Okay, this is the class this is the best class. So from this we can understand that mathematics class was Albert's favorite class. But how did you know I am leaving, sir? Now he asked teacher, sir, how did you know? I have not told you that I am leaving. How did you know I am leaving? You wouldn't have asked me for this reference otherwise. The teacher was very intelligent. He told, yes, if you are not leaving the school, then why you have come to me for your reference? You are taking this reference means you are leaving the school. I thought you don't. Albert told, sir, I thought you would be surprised. There is nothing to wonder about, Einstein. Wonder means to surprise. The teacher told, yes, there is nothing to be surprised. I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. Underline. I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. This is puzzling. The teacher told this to Einstein. I know that you do not know, or you are going to leave the school before you know it. You know it, but you don't know, but you are going to leave the school. Albert was puzzled. Albert was confused. What did the teacher mean? What did the teacher mean by this? The teacher told Einstein that you were going to leave the school before you knew it. Means you don't know, but you are going to leave the school. What did he say? He soon found out. But what the teacher wanted to mean, Einstein could realize very soon. Before he had a chance to ask for an interview with the head teacher, he was summoned to the head's room. Now, this is usual that if you want to meet with the head teacher, or if you want to meet with the principal, you must take prior permission. So that day Einstein was about to meet with the head teacher because he had to produce this certificate to the head teacher, and that was his last day in the school. But Einstein did not take the permission yet to take for this interview with the head teacher. Before this, he was summoned to the head's room. He was called to the head's room. Means Einstein was about to meet with the head teacher that day. He did not take the permission yet. Before this, he was called to the head's room. Well, it saves me the trouble of having to wait an hour or two outside, he thought. He thought, oh, it's good. Because this is also know that if you want to meet with your head teacher or with your principal, you would have to wait for 1 or 2 hours before principal's chamber. This is the etiquette. This is the rules. But then and there you could not enter the principal's room if you want to meet with. Okay, you must need to wait. You must need to wait. Okay, for 1 or 2 hours, for at least few minutes. Here Albert told that this is good. That as head teacher called me means no need to wait for going into his chamber. And if he himself would get to, if he himself wanted to meet with the head teacher that he was about to meet, then for this he would have to wait for 1 or 2 hours. But as head teacher has summoned him, someone means called him, so no need to wait. He hardly bothered to wonder why he had been sent for, but vaguely supposed he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. Now, what would be the usual feeling for a student? What would be your feeling? Okay, that if your principal called you, if your head teacher called you, okay, and somebody had come and actually intimated you that principal is calling you, you must be very much afraid. You must think that, oh, what have I done? Why the principal is calling me? Why the head teacher is calling me? But Albert did not bother about. Here, he hardly bothered. Means he almost did not bother to wonder, to think why he had been sent for. Sent for means called. This is an phrasal verb. Sent for means called. But vaguely means indifferently. He did not have any feelings about it. Indifferently supposed. He thought that he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. Because he spent there 5 years, and in these 5 years, how many times he had been called by the principal or the head teacher. So these did not bother him at all. He knew that head teacher was calling me for giving punishment for my bad work or laziness. He was accustomed to it, all these. Well, he had finished with punishment, but still he was thinking, whatever punishment head teacher would give me, I am not going to get this, because this is the last day of my this is my last day in the school. Because immediately I would produce this certificate and I would tell a teacher I am going away from school. So whatever punishment would give to me, I do not bother, because I am leaving the school today. Now Albert had gone to meet with the head teacher. I am not going to punish you, the head teacher said, to Albert's surprise. And the head teacher told Albert, I am not going to punish you. Albert was surprised. Every time, whenever he was called by the head teacher, every time the head teacher told him that he was going to punish him. But now, this day, The head teacher called him and told him that I am not going to punish you. Your work is terrible and I am not prepared to have you here any longer, Einstein. I want you to leave the school now. The head teacher told, yes, I am not going to punish you, but your work is terrible. Terrible means horrible, okay? And I am not ready to keep you here any longer. Yes, here any longer, to have you any longer. I want you to leave the school now. The head teacher directly told, you leave the school. No punishment for you, because earlier lots of punishment had been given to you. You did not change yourself, but you could not change yourself. So leave the school. Leave school now, repeated Albert. Albert repeated head teacher's, leave school now, dazed. Dazed means he was surprised. That is what I said. The head teacher told, that is what I said, yes, that I said only. You mean, said Albert, that I am to be expelled. Now this is expulsion, you know. Albert asked head teacher, it means that I am to be expelled. You can take it in that way if you wish, Einstein. The head teacher was not mincing words. Mincing means mixing. The head teacher was telling in a very straightforward way, okay, in a very straightforward way. You can take it that way if you wish, Einstein. The head teacher told, yes, if you think that you have been expelled, then you may think that yes, you have been expelled. The simplest thing will be for you to go of your own accord, and then the question wouldn't arise. And the head teacher, as he giving offer to Einstein, he told the simplest thing would be, you must go according to your own wish. Accord means wish, according to your own wish. If you go according to your own wish, then there would be no question of expulsion. We know Albert was ready to leave the school according to his own wish. But, said Albert, what crime have I committed? Now before leaving the school, Albert asked this, what crime have I committed? What crime have I done that you are telling that I have been expelled? Your presence in the classroom makes it impossible for the teacher to teach and for the other pupils to learn. Pupils means here students. The head teacher told that your presence in the classroom makes it impossible for the teacher to teach. Means here the head teacher told Einstein that you just stay in the class and you disturb the teachers to take their class. Not only that, you disturb the other students so that they could not learn. Okay, and for the pupils to learn. You refuse to learn and you are in constant rebellion, and no serious work can be done while you are there. Now, these lines from head teacher suggest he does not have any foresight. The head teacher does not have any quality to recognize a student. Just think, to whom the head teacher was telling that no serious work can be done when you are there. He is telling to someone who is going to be world famous in next 10 years. Albert Einstein, the head teacher was telling to Albert Einstein, who was going to be the world famous in next 10 years, to whom the head teacher was telling that no serious work can be done in your presence. It suggests that the head teacher did not recognize Albert Einstein at all, did not recognize the quality the student had. Okay, and that is why he told that you refuse to learn, you are in constant rebellion, means you argued with the teacher, you do not believe what the teacher tells, and you just keep on asking questions, keep on disturbing them, so you just leave the school. Albert failed the medical certificate, almost burning a hole in his pocket. Underline, this is very important. Albert failed the medical certificate, almost burning a hole in his pocket. What does it mean? Now Albert failed that the medical certificate became futile. Futile means it's become useless. For taking these or for getting this medical certificate, Albert had to pretend that he suffers from nervous breakdown. He had to meet with a doctor. He had to tell everything. Now the doctor had given the certificate. Now he had to spend money for taking Yuri for a supper. So Albert had to do so many things for getting this certificate, and now all of a sudden he found that this certificate becomes useless. Why? Because before producing this certificate, the head teacher was telling him, you are out from the school. So this certificate remained useless, and that is why he found that this line, it means that the certificate almost burning a hole in his pocket, because Albert Einstein, Albert found that the certificate became useless, it's become futile. For getting this certificate, he had to pretend, he had to lie to a doctor, he had to spend money, but now it is useless. I was going to leave anyway, he said. He told, yes, I am going to leave. I was also going to leave the school. Then we are in agreement, at least, Einstein, the head said. The head teacher told, oh, at least then we are in agreement. Means beforehand, how many times or number of times the head teacher called him, every time he argued with the head teacher. Every time. Now the head teacher told, at least we are in agreement. What agreement? Head teacher was telling him to leave the school, and Albert was telling, yes, I was going to leave the school. So this is only the this is the first time and last time also that the head teacher was in agreement with, the Albert agreed with the head teacher. Means beforehand, number of times he was called, he had an argument with the teacher. For a moment, Albert was tempted to tell the man what he thought of him and of his school. Albert was very angry as the way head teacher was talking to him. He was very tempted to tell, what do you think of yourself? What do you think of your school? Then he stopped himself, but still he controlled himself. He did not speak a single word. Without another word, holding his head high, he stalked out. Holding his head high means he was not feeling the same. He was not feeling same, as if he was feeling proud what he had done. With his straight head, he just stalked out. Stalked out means walked out without any sound. Shut the door after you, shouted the head. Head teacher shouted, hey, shut the door after you. Okay, shut the door after you. Albert ignored him. Albert did not listen. Albert just went out of the room, did not close the door. As the head teacher ordered him, hey, shut the door. He walked straight on out of the school where he had spent 5 miserable years without turning his head to give it a last look. You know, this should be very emotional moment, isn't it? When a student is leaving his school forever, the student must be very much emotional. You might have, few students must have already experienced it. When up to class 10, you might have read in other school, a few of them were reading in other schools, and it must be very much emotional state for all of you, leaving the school forever. But it did not happen for Einstein. Einstein was rather happy instead of being sorry when he was leaving the school. He could not think of anyone he wanted to say goodbye to, and he did not want to say goodbye to anyone. And he did not look back for once when he was coming out of the school. Indeed, Yuri was almost the only person in Munich he felt like seeing before he left the town. He had come to hate almost as much as the school. So Einstein actually also hated the school and hated Munich, his living place where he used to live. So only Yuri was there with whom Einstein wanted to meet before leaving Munich. He also was living in Munich. Elsa was back in Berlin and he had no other real friends. So his cousin had gone to Berlin, and there was no real friend over there. So he only met with Yuri. Goodbye and good luck, said Yuri when he left. So Yuri bade him good luck and goodbye when finally Albert was leaving Munich. You are going to a wonderful country, I think. Yuri also wished him that you are going to a wonderful country. Where Albert was going? He was going to Berlin. I hope you will be happier there. And Yuri also wished Albert that you are going to be happier there. So this is the end of this story, Albert Einstein at school. I hope you have understood. Have you understood? In my next class, I must say I must tell you a few questions from this chapter, and then we are going to start a new chapter. Okay. Thank you, those who have understood, and thank you very much for attending my class. Till then, it's goodbye.